Senator Cory Booker from New Jersey voted against a bill that was created by Bernie Sanders and Amy Klobuchar, and excuse me if I mispronounce her name, that would allow the importation of prescription drugs from Canada, and in doing so, Americans would be able to buy a lot of their prescription drugs at a much, much lower rate. And the reason for that is because Canada has bargaining power with the prescription drug companies, while the United States government does not. And Cory Booker, a person that a lot of people are considering for 2020, voting against that bill. Even people like Ted Cruz and Rand Paul voted for this bill, but due to the fact that 12 Democratic senators voted against it, this bill failed. Now, the reason that Cory Booker gave for voting against it was because he said that he's concerned about the safety issues. Now, for those who don't know about the United States healthcare system and the comparisons we have with other healthcare systems, we're ranked worse in terms of for our overall healthcare system. Like in terms of all the modern industrial countries, the United States is dead last. And for this guy to give that excuse as if we're stupid is just insulting. Canada has much stricter, regulation on prescription drugs, and he wants to make it seem like these drugs are coming from China, or I won't even say China, but Sudan or something like that. Who knows? He's making it seem like it's coming out of the Scooby-Doo minivan or something, and it's not. They're coming from Canada, and they're about a dozen spots ahead of us in terms of healthcare, and they spend less per capita on healthcare than we do. And actually, the United States spends more per capita on healthcare than any other country in the world. And if you can ask my girlfriend, who actually took a class because she's doing respiratory therapy. So she took a class that deals a lot. It's called comparative healthcare systems, and I read some of the stuff she learns in that class, and along with other stuff that I read throughout my time being interested in politics. And it's like, I just don't see how Americans can look at our healthcare system objectively and then say that, we need to continue doing what we're doing. The Affordable Care Act has its issues, but at least, the Affordable Care Act has issues, right? But before the Affordable Care Act, according to a Harvard medical school study, 44,000 Americans died a year due to lack of health care. And it's people like Cory Booker who are just continuing this system of greed and not caring about the patient, because that's how the American healthcare system is. It doesn't care about the wellness of their patients or their citizens. It cares about how much money a select amount of people can make in pocket while tens of thousands of people die. Like, the reason that the Affordable Care Act is failed in a lot of the red states is because they voted against the Medicaid expansion. And you still have people in a lot of the southern states who are dying because they can't get access to health care. And also with the Affordable Care, and I'm going on a rant right now, there's no price, pricing regulations whatsoever. And I think that's another issue with the Affordable Care. But unfortunately, Orange Hitler, when he gets in there, that's all gone. We're going back to a system that's probably going to be worse than the Affordable Care Act. And I know a lot of people who couldn't get insurance before that, once Trump repeals the Affordable Care Act, they're going to be SOL, and it's a very immoral system that we live in. And the fact that Democrats, who are supposed to be the party of the people, can vote against a bill like this, it leaves me flabbergasted. And Cory Booker thinks he's going to run in 2020. Get the fuck out of here, man. Fucking go do something else, man. But that's all I have to say. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, comment, and have a nice day. Peace.